I am back and I'm happy to be back, and I'm coming back to you with an awesome charity that I will be working with for the duration of my time here in Indianapolis. And before this interview, I thought that I knew all that it was to know about them, and it wasn't. You don't know until you get really involved or until you talk to them and hear the stories. And one story in particular that I didn't get on tape was the story of a gentleman who came out of prison, had no one to receive him, became homeless. He went through the Horizon House program, got his life back on track so much that he is now, not only is he on the board of directors for the Horizon House, but he is a lawyer in a top law firm here in Indianapolis. And so, and they've got so many stories from riches to rags and back to society again. People who have lost their minds after wars, and veteran stories, and just so many stories, and it all goes to show you that it can happen to anyone. And so I'm excited to present to you the Horizon House with the Executive Director, John Jonette.
Good to have you here today. Horizon House is a real special organization as far as homeless services in the area. We're kind of, when we say we're a day shelter, that's exactly what we do. We don't do a lot of programming in the evenings. We partner with organizations that provide shelter for folks overnight. Our day services are kind of broken into two different categories. One is our commitment to hospitality. We provide basic services, things that we all take for granted each and every day. Being able to take a shower and get clean, especially if you've been living on the street for a number of days or weeks or months or years. Being able to do your laundry. You know, our homeless neighbors many of them take very much a lot of pride in the way they look and the way they present themselves. So it's not necessarily the typical view of homelessness. Most of the shelters in town, basically you have to be out in the morning so that they can prep the facility for the evening, and after around 5:30 or 6 they can come back to the shelter. So we provide services that folks can access during the day. Individuals want to do more than just kind of exist. And so we're able to help them with what we call our set of professional services. A case manager that will work on an extensive plan for them that's tailored directly for their needs. And we're able to help with addictions, mental health issues, through partnerships in the community. We estimate about 60 to 70% of the folks that we see have one or both of those things going on in their lives. We have an actual clinic for Midtown that's located right on site. So they have counselors and addiction specialists that can help with those issues and their mental health issues as well. Through a partnership with IU Medical, Indiana University Medical, we actually have a clinic on site that can help people with their basic health needs and anything that kind of goes beyond basic health needs. We work with Wishart Hospital and the IU system to get them plugged into services that way too. Lots of things, civil legal matters we can help with. We have a partnership with the Indiana Legal Services. They have staff that come several days a week to help people with their legal matters. We also work with, in legal matters I mean non-criminal matters, so it would be landlord-tenant issues, issues with family issues, family law kinds of things. One of the big things that we're able to offer here is courses in kind of job readiness, working with folks to get a resume put together, help them with job interviewing skills, help them with clothing, appropriate dress attire to access, or to show up to the interviews to be appropriate, and job searching. So, in the last few weeks we've been able to help people actually land employment. Wow. So it's kind of a holistic look at what an individual's needs is and their needs are, and working with a case manager to kind of put those pieces together. So, ways that people can help us are obviously volunteering, and we're talking...
Now listen, people!
Volunteering, I'm at a number of different levels. People can come and give a few hours of their time once in a while, and there are always things that we can use help with here at the agency. Joining our board of directors would be kind of the more aggressive volunteer route. those opportunities are available. But there are things that we need, things that we have needs for that come up on a regular basis. So it can be as small of a commitment as a few hours to working with us over a period of years. So that's kind of neat. The other ways that you can obviously help is from a financial sense, and in-kind donations of basic needs things like clothing, toiletry items, towels are important. People take showers here and able to access those kinds of things. This is kind of our front area here. Our guest service associates are here to assist folks that either have been here and have accessed our services or are coming in for the very first time. And part of what we're able to offer at this point is kind of an entry point for our services. And we have a wonderful guest services staff. We treat people with respect and dignity when they walk in the door. People access our services just like they would access services at any business. We're able to offer a warm cup of coffee in the morning and a little bit to eat. And we are here to make sure they can have clean clothing. It's amazing. I don't do a lot of ironing myself, but there are folks here. I mean, our iron is going almost the entire time that we're open. We have several irons. And the neat thing about that is, when you really think about it, again, it gets back to the pride that people have in the way they look. And obviously they have a lot more pride in the way they look than I do, because I don't do a lot of ironing. So people are able to come in here and take basically the clothes off their back and wash them. Serve a continental breakfast for folks in the morning. Basically because there are...
You want to be on camera now? I'm not shy.
This is Norman.
Okay. Hi,
he takes care of
Norman.
our place. Hi, Mom. We have partnerships with other organizations in town that provide hot meals for lunch and dinner. So we kind of fill in the gap first thing in the morning for folks. Actually,
my name is James.
James helps keep this place ship-shape. This is a real important area here. I like to talk about this in terms of kind of putting yourself in the position of someone that has, that has not always chosen or have chosen to live on the street. This represents a person's life.
Yeah.
And we have storage bins that we have here that have very important information. It's all the belongings sometimes that a person has. And if you live on the street, you're always susceptible to forces outside of your control. And lots of times people are robbed of their earthly possessions. Those folks that are truly putting a plan together and have a plan to move forward, we allow them to access this area. Ultimately, part of the plan, hopefully for folks that have put a plan together, is to get into housing. So we have partnerships. There's short-term housing, and we try to work with those agencies, but longer-term housing, being able to access supportive, housing and temporary housing to get them back on their feet. Yeah. Looking forward to the future for additional partnerships. There are, plans to do more kind of on the property that we own here and have even more services located here. So that's kind of an overview of Horizon House. 317-423-8909, and ask for Mandy. Mandy's our volunteer coordinator, and she has different things that we have needs for kind of on her radar screen.